All right, how's everyone doing out there? I think we're about a week into this quarantine situation. I hope that everyone's safe. I hope that people have enough food and supplies and things like that. Right now, I'm going to make something. I'm here in my drum studio, by the way. I'm sitting on the floor. There's not a lot of space in here. So, anyway, I cleared space. I moved my bicycle, and I'm going to show you what I kind of make on tour, but in this case, in a quarantine, because they're similar in some ways. In some ways, in that you're limited a lot of times with what you can do and what you've got. So, that being said, on to the food. So today, I'm going to be using my rice cooker. Actually, this is an Instant Pot, so it's a pressure cooker, but it acts like a rice cooker as well. So anyway, we're going to use that. We're going to make Kitchari. I'm going to use probably not totally traditional ingredients that one might use, but that's okay. You can use whatever vegetables you have. I mean, it's simply the basic concept of this dish is you've got rice. I've got yellow split peas. I've got some brown rice and this is white rice back here, by the way. I've got an array of Indian spices, which you can kind of see behind me. Then I have some vegetables, and all we're going to do is chop up the vegetables, add the rice and the peas. We're going to add some water, add the spices, put the lid on, and hit go, and then we're done. I'm not doing anything crazy. If I wanted to really dazzle people with this rice dish, I would saute the onions first. I would take extra steps to make this dish that much better. So this is intended to do when you're on the go. You don't have a lot of time, but you want something healthy. So anyway, the rest of the ingredients include these potatoes right here. So I've got 3, and hold on, let me get this pot out. I've got some collard greens right here, just a few. I've got a carrot, I've got a zucchini squash, I've got some onion. And let's see, as far as spices go, I guess we'll start from the back here. Turmeric, that's a key one right there. Really healthy root there. And we've got ginger as well, also. Cumin, so these are typical in Indian cuisine. We've got some cayenne pepper, some black pepper, a little bit of curry powder, coriander powder, black mustard seed. I use a little bit of fenugreek as well. And then this one I wanted to talk about for a moment. This is called hing. Hing is typically used in, I guess, Vedic cuisine. So like the Hare Krishnas tend to use this because I guess part of their faith, they don't believe in using onions or garlic. So they use this instead, and it kind of acts in a similar manner. I will use garlic and onions, but I also use it in combination with this, and it's really good. Or you can use this on your own. If you don't like onions and garlic, use hing. It's great. I don't add a lot of sodium to my food, but I do sometimes add some condiments. So in this case, this is just some generic soy sauce and hot sauce. So I add a little bit of that into the fold. And, oh yeah, last but not least, right here, we've got kelp. I add just a very tiny bit of this stuff. A little goes a long way, because you don't really want a seaweed flavored dish. At least I'm not interested in that. What I am interested in is the fact that this has an exceptional amount of iodine in it. 970, well, you can't read that, but 970% of your daily supply in 1 teaspoon. So you just take a little sprinkle. That's all I do. Just make sure I get enough iodine. Okay. Sweet deal. So what we're going to do is combine all this stuff together and make Kitchari. So, oh yeah, real quick. When I'm on the road, I tend to mix a lot of these spices together into one container. That way I'm just, pouring a little bit in and then calling it a day. Because you don't have time or the space to bring all this stuff with you. But I have it in my drum studio because I make this just about every day while I'm here drumming. And then it's easy. I've got healthy food on hand, and life is good. All right, onward and forward. Let's do it. All right, here we are. I've washed all the vegetables. We're back on the floor in my drum studio. Not your typical kitchen scenario, but we're not in the typical scenario anyway. And tour is not a typical scenario as far as where you cook. A lot of times when I'm on tour, I could be cooking in the hallway of a venue somewhere, so right near the bathroom or something. So just because there's a power outlet, who knows? Anyway, so here's the Instant Pot. We're going to start by adding the rice and the peas. So I'm not measuring anything, and I never do. So I'm just going to show you what I do and give you roundabout measurements. All right. So I'm going to first add some rice. We'll add a little bit more than that, and I'll show you in a moment how much that is. Get that out of the way. Okay, so here's my rice. It's covering kind of the bottom of the pan. I want to finish off the brown rice that I have right here. Let's see. So we'll get rid of this. Brown rice is better than white rice health-wise. I mean, it's got the fiber intact. So when possible, eat brown rice. So that's what I do. White rice does cook quicker in a lot of situations. Some people find it to be more palatable, and I get that. But brown rice is healthier, so go with that if you can. Yellow split peas. Split peas are really good sources of iron and protein. So, yeah. Anyway, here we go. We'll add some of that. All right. I'm not going to fuss with that for right now. The next thing we're going to do, I like to add, here's all the vegetables. So I chopped them all up. We got the onions, the collards, the carrots, zucchini, and potatoes. So we're going to just toss it all in. Again, if I had more time, I would add the collard greens at the very end because leafy greens cook pretty quick. Yeah, so anyway, it's better to maybe steam them lightly at the end. But if you're in a rush, you don't want to spend a lot of time doing this, go ahead and throw them in. They'll be cooked down a little bit more, but they'll still taste good. So there you go, there's that. All right, let's add all the spices. It's probably anywhere between a half teaspoon and maybe a tablespoon of everything that I add. Not going to do a lot of pepper, but so here's some cayenne. I'm just grabbing them as I go. Curry powder. Let's see. Yeah, I don't even think you can see what I'm doing here. Let's see if I can tilt this a bit more. Okay, cool. Yep, that's better. Let's see. Coriander. Add a little bit of that. Black mustard seed. The fenugreek. Some cumin. Turmeric. Ginger. And am I missing anything? Oh yeah, let's see, we've got a little bit of black pepper. We've got some of that hing, add that. And just a tiny, I'm just cracking the lid slightly because I don't want a lot of this kelp, so just a little bit of kelp, all right. and to add a little bit of sodium and extra flavor, hot sauce. So salt typically brings out the flavor in a lot of foods. I tend to not use a lot for health reasons, but a little bit is, I think, okay. So just a little bit of that. I mean, some people, if they were to try my food, they'd say it doesn't, it's possibly slightly bland. I don't believe it is, because your taste buds adjust. But if you add a little bit more sodium, it's not going to be like that. So if you need that, go ahead and do it. But try to keep your sodium low. It's better for your overall health. Okay, so this is what it looks like at this point. The next move is to add a bunch of water. So I'll kind of show how much I'm going to add here. And again, I'm not really measuring this. You kind of want to just submerge everything with a little bit of water. Let's see, I can't tip this over, but just barely submerge it. Some of the vegetables are hanging out on the top and they're not going to get completely covered, and that's okay. So maybe I'll add just a little bit more though. All right, so there's that. Put the pot back into the container, shut the lid, make sure the valve, if you are using a pressure cooker, make sure that it's sealed. And I know that you can't really see, but here, I'll bring it closer. I don't know if this is better. Okay, so I hit the, oh wait, wrong one, sorry. I'm gonna go on the pressure cooker, which is the bottom right corner, and I go for 9 minutes. So as soon as you press that one button, it goes ahead and flips on. And so it will stay on for a while until it comes to pressure, and then it will cook for 9 minutes. All right, so I'll show you the results when it's done. All right, we're all done here. So I'm just gonna hit cancel. All right, so the move you can do, there's two things you can do. If you're on the road, such as I am, being on the road, I say that a lot. I might not release the pressure valve because I might be busy doing something, but if you want to eat right away, just go ahead and release the pressure valve. It's going to be loud. It's going to be kind of an explosive steam, so just make sure that your hand or face is not over the Instant Pot. Just kind of, you're going to flick the valve to the right, and yeah, so there it is. I'll be back in a moment when this is done. Okay, so the steam is released and we're ready to dig in. Actually, it's probably going to be super hot, so you probably won't want to eat it yet, but I'll go ahead and unveil what it looks like. So you're seeing it for the first time as well too. This is not some sort of quick edit situation. All right, here we go. So I took off the lid. The Instant Pot's cool because it has this little holder for the lid, and I'll tilt it a bit. And it actually looks really good, and you can kind of stir it around and see that everything cooked through properly. So yeah, just give that a nice stir, and you've got a nice giant batch of Kitchari. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and let me know if you want to see more. I've got a few other ideas. Actually, I've got a lot of ideas where you can make easy dishes with just beans and rice and vegetables and varying the spices. And that's what this diet's all about. It's pretty simple. So anyway, also if you want to know more too about why I eat this way and how I do it on the road, I do have a book, The Touring Vegan. You can check that out. It's on Amazon. I usually bring some copies with me on tour. Typically in the States, it's harder to bring a lot of copies with me to Europe just because I don't have a lot of space in my luggage to bring those copies. But if you ever see me in the US, it's easy to kind of have a copy on hand to sell you. Yay. Okay, cool. So I hope you enjoy it.